Alright y'all, so DDG and Halle's custody battle reaches a boiling point today. Allegations are flying around, emotions are running high, and their son's future hangs in the balance. So let's go ahead and unpack everything that happened today. So basically what happened was DDG filed an emergency motion in the Los Angeles Superior Court today. And the reason why he did that was to prevent Halle from taking their son Halo on an international trip to Italy. Now DDG is also seeking a DV restraining order against Halle, alleging that she poses an imminent emotional and psychological risk to Halo. Now it's being alleged that Halle has made repeated threats of harming herself and displayed other concerning behaviors. And we actually have evidence from DDG supporting that claim. We'll get into that later though. And this is just the tip of the iceberg for the allegations that DDG has made against Halle. He's also making claims stating that she placed AirTags on him to keep tabs on where he's at. He also said that she once took his firearm and left the house without informing him and was later found holding the weapon. Mind you, she was pregnant at the time. He also claims that she sent text messages with SI and implied on potentially harming herself and Halo. Now it's also being said that Halle attempted to have an abortion without DDG's consent, but ended up not going through with it. Now these are some shocking and wild allegations that are being put against Halle, and if these are true, this is just outright crazy. Doing things like putting AirTags on your boy or handling a firearm while you're pregnant, not to mention the emotional, psychological, and mental risk that DDG claims she poses to Halo. So basically DDG is flipping the script, claiming that Halle is the violent one and mentally unstable, which is why he believes Halo shouldn't be taking on this international trip to Italy with Halle. Now DDG is also asking for sole custody, and if you don't know what that means he's the parent who has full custody of Halo. And if that's not possible, then he's asking that all their parental interactions be handled by a third party. It went from Halle filing temporary custody and a restraining order against DDG, preventing him from even being within 100 yards of Halle and his son Halo, to DDG just straight up flipping it and saying that, hold up, Halle's the abusive one, Halle's the mentally unstable one. Now if these claims are true, it's just straight up shocking, because Halle was the one who opened up this can of worms when she filed for temporary custody and a restraining order, which prevented DDG from being within 100 yards of Halle and Halo. But we can't jump to conclusions, because as you guys know, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Up next, we have this declaration of Tanya Granberry, DDG's mother. So it states, I, Tanya Granberry, declare and state as follows. I am the mother of Daryl Dwayne Granberry Jr., the respondent in the above entitled matter. I make this declaration based on my personal knowledge, and if called as a witness, I could and would testify competently to the facts stated herein. I reside in Los Angeles County, California. I am closely involved in my son's life, as is my fiance, George Charleston, who also serves as my son's driver. Both George and I were involved in identifying and locating multiple Apple AirTags that were secretly placed in Daryl's vehicles. The first AirTag was discovered in June 2023 in Daryl's Maybach. Daryl called me that night stating that petitioner Halle Bailey had shown up uninvited to a movie theater in Beverly Hills where he was attending a film with a female friend. Petitioner called me directly that night, angrily stating that she knew Daryl was at the movies and made threats to him up. George and I drove to the theater out of concern for Daryl's safety. When we arrived, we saw petitioner outside the theater, visibly upset and attempting to confront and physically fight the woman he was with. I personally intervened to help de-escalate the situation. A fourth AirTag was found in April 2024 after the birth of Daryl's son, Halo. I personally found this device inside my baby's diaper bag, hidden underneath the internal cardboard lining. This device was a different model, one commonly marketed for use with pets. I took a photograph of this AirTag, which is attached to this declaration as Exhibit 6. Each of these discoveries involved Daryl, George, and me working together to locate these devices. George will receive alerts and we will search the vehicles until the AirTags were physically recovered. In January 2025, George and I moved into Daryl's home. While helping clean and organize the house, I discovered a box of unused Apple AirTags in a drawer in Daryl's bedroom. These had been left behind by petitioner, who had lived in the home on and off both before and during her pregnancy. She moved out shortly after the baby was born and this is where the document gets cut off. Let's go ahead and look at that Exhibit 6. Let's see how that AirTag looks. So as you can see, this is the AirTag that she was talking about. This must be the Amazon link that you can use to purchase this specific model. But as you can see, you can hide an AirTag within this little cat emblem thing in the middle. And here's the picture of the same model that I assume Tanya took. And so here's a picture of DDG's hand, which appears to be injured. And you guys, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show this on YouTube because there is a little bit of blood and I know they're pretty sensitive on here, but this is a pretty large gash that could use some stitches. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but DDG also states that he wasn't the one who chipped her tooth. Halle was in the back seat, reached forward and hit herself on the steering wheel. I don't know if it was purpose or if she accidentally, or if it was just in a fit of rage and one thing led to another and she must have accidentally hit herself on the steering wheel. But DDG's claiming that he didn't chip this tooth. She was the one who chipped it. All right, so we have some of the text messages here between Halle and DDG. And as you guys can see here on the left side, at 11:09 p.m. on March 21st, 2024, Halle said, "This is proof. You leave me hanging as a mother. You don't step up when I need you to. I'm begging you. I just found out you slept with Lala in Mexico. I'm going to myself tonight. My son will not be around for it. I hate you forever. You can have him and let her be his mom." Obviously, it seems like she found out that he had cheated and she was going through it. She was crashing out right there. She then goes to say at 11:14 p.m., "Please take Halo." DDG says, "I'm genuinely scared of you, man. I feel like you're going to me in my sleep one day. I'm not allowing you in my house around guns. Please just go home and I'll pick up Halo from there." And less than a minute after DDG told Halle to go home, Halle said, "Me and Halo are in the code. You won't let us in your house. Are you serious?" Now, while I was editing this video, I came across another screenshot of some messages that Halle sent to DDG. I'm gonna go ahead and leave those up on the screen. Feel free to pause the video and read them if you want. So I don't really understand the context fully here, but it seems like Halle had just found out that DDG cheated on her with a different female. And this can probably be where DDG alleges that Haley's just a emotional and psychological risk to Halo, because as you can see, she's threatening to off herself and she's saying that Halo wouldn't be around for it. So it's like she's kind of aware of what she's saying and how it could affect Halo. I mean, I'm pretty sure that she understands that it would be even worse if Halo was around for that. Now, I don't want to judge her right here because, I mean, if you just found out that you got cheated on, I mean, that's a pretty valid moment to crash out. And yeah, I would be pretty surprised if my girl was coming up to me acting like this for the first time. Even if I had just cheated, like, I'd be kind of scared, like, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. But then you also see that she's begging him to take Halo because they were outside at 11 p.m. outside his house in the code, she says. And I mean, you know, he could have handled it better. She could have handled it better. All in all, this is evidence. You know, this can be pretty damning evidence on Haley's part, not as much as DDG's part, maybe socially for being known as a cheater, but I definitely do believe that this piece of evidence is a little damning on Haley's part. But like I said, you guys, this is just crazy. It's a straight up back and forth battle between Halle and DDG. Me personally, I used to watch DDG when I was younger. I used to watch his vlogs, and he never came off as someone who would be violent or a physical threat to women. But then again, I only saw him behind the camera, so I don't know how he really acts. And even though Halle Bailey has that Disney princess title under her belt and seems to act very friendly and feminine whenever the cameras are out, we just don't know what happens when the cameras turn off and the doors close. So let's see what happens. Let's see what else information comes out. Because if the claims that either one of them are making ends up to be true, this could be career altering for either one of them. So with that being said, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe so that you can stay up to date on what's happening with this situation. With that being said, your boy's out of here. Peace.